This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Election officer has devised a new strategy to file malpractices, advocates for activism in an exclusive chat with NDTV Hindu.
To take pictures, take videos, you can upload it to us. We will have a lot of numbers, toll-free numbers, where you can inform.
Factory in Virudhunagar manufacturing firecrackers goes up in flames. Fire claims 8 lives, injures 10 others. Is the Lankan Navy at it again? Tamil Nadu fishermen report yet another attack by the Lankan Navy vessels, second in a month. Amma's estate is pitched against the demands of local panchayats as both sides slug it out for the right of way. The Adi Dravida girls' hostel is found in a pitiable state. NDTV Hindu investigates the deplorable living conditions. First, the very release of the film was in question, and now that the movie is out, there's more legal trouble headed Kavalan's way. A swan amongst penguins, first man to plant his feet on both the North and the South Poles, Sir Robert Swan, opens up to NDTV Hindu.
What they actually need is inspiration to bother to do something about it.
A very good evening and welcome to Late Night News with me, Ashmit. Let's have a look at stories coming in from across the nation. For the first time since independence, a serving Lieutenant General has been court-martialed, found guilty in the Sukna land case. The Supreme Court rejects the CBI's plea for a death sentence for Gramstein's killer, upholds the life sentence. Top court seeks response from the Mayawati government on the petition seeking a CBI probe into the Banda rape case. The CBI court rejects the plea of Arushi's parents seeking the full CBI closure report. Protea set a target of 266 for India as tailenders pitch in. India stands just one victory away from a historical feat. First up, we've heard of citizens posting pictures and videos of bad roads or monsoon woes. Now, against the backdrop of complaints of bribing of voters during by-elections and ahead of the big battle at the hustings in Tamil Nadu in a few months' time, the Election Commission plans to use its website as a platform for public to upload pictures or videos of malpractices they come across. And this was disclosed by Tamil Nadu's Chief Electoral Officer Praveen Kumar to our Executive Editor Sanjay Pinto in our show, Corridors of Power.
Third is we are going to make a very accessible platform for people to give us information, both in terms of uploading pictures on the website. Suppose you are getting, you see someone distributing money. It's difficult for you as a common man to go and stop it. You can always take, now with all mobile phones have cameras and all that. To take pictures, take videos, you can upload it to us. We will have a lot of numbers, toll-free numbers, where you can inform, and then we can send our teams for raiding. But by the time the teams go, it will be too late, I suppose. People will disappear by the time. So, but if you upload it, at least we can take action. It can be a proof for taking action, because citizen journalism kind of concept that also will encourage.
Well, some interesting ideas have been put forth. You can of course catch that full interview on Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Now, moving ahead, once again an accident in a fireworks unit has claimed a few victims. 8 lives were lost and 10 others were injured when the cracker factory in Muthalipatti in Virudhunagar district caught fire. 6 fire tenders from across the district were pressed into service. Investigation is also underway to determine the cause of the accident. Now, meanwhile, the collector is also reviewing the situation. And well, in other developments, fresh reports have surfaced of yet another alleged attack on Tamil Nadu fishermen by the Sri Lankan Navy. Nearly 60 fishermen claim that they were beaten up by the Sri Lankan Navy personnel while they were fishing between Kachchatheva and Dhanushkodi. Now, this is the second such report within the span of less than a month. The fishermen claim that their fishing vessels numbering 15 were surrounded and many of them were beaten up. And they also accused the Lankan Navy of warning them not to fish in these waters. Now, the attackers, according to the claims, then allegedly confiscated their catch, their GPS navigation systems and their mobile phones. Now, to give our viewers some background on this case, fishermen from Rameshwaram had gone back to fish only just a day back. Earlier, they stayed away protesting the killing of a fisherman from Pudukkottai district. He was reportedly fired at by a Sri Lankan Navy. Now, at that time, India had responded by summoning the Sri Lankan envoy in Delhi to lodge a protest. However, the envoy denied any involvement of the Lankan Navy. This attack, however, was reported on the 12th of January. And in other developments, Jayalalithaa's Kodanad estate travails continue. The manager of Jayalalithaa's Kodanad estate filed a petition in the Madras High Court to quash Tamil Nadu government's order dated December 31st, 2010 for acquiring about a hectare of land in this estate. Now, one of the local panchayat's long pending demand is to acquire the road to allow villagers unconditional use of the road, cutting right through the estate. Now, currently, villagers are allowed access only from 6 in the morning to 6 p.m. S. Natarajan, the manager of this estate, in his petition said that such a free and unconditional access could pose a threat to the residents of the estate. He said that as per the Madras High Court and the Supreme Court directives, access has been given to the people in neighbouring areas of Annanagar and Kamraj Nagar hamlets. He also said that there are several estates in the Nilgiris district which have private roads where access is only conditional. Now, this issue has been a bone of contention between Jayalalithaa and the local panchayats. They have both, again, the case has been fought in both the Madras High Court and the Supreme Court as well. And well, more news about the Chief of Opposition, Jayalalithaa. She again condemned the Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi for not exploiting his rapport with the Congress to do good for the state. This fresh charge comes on the back of the Chief Minister's recent speech when he confessed that the request of the Congress was generally met with hesitation and only later would the Congress accede. Now, citing reports of Karunanidhi's bargaining for plum portfolios, she launched a flurry of salvos at the ruling party. Milking the sensitive interstate water dispute issue, she charged that the Chief Minister did not make a request for Tamil Nadu's right. She also charged that the DMK's chief is obsessed with what she called his highly demanding family. And well, Amma wasn't in a mood to spare members of the first family. Targeting Union Minister Alagiri, Jayalalithaa today announced that her party would protest in Madurai on Saturday against what she called the interference of Alagiri's men in the administration of the city corporation. She alleged that the henchmen of MK Alagiri interfered with the corporation's administration, leading to revenue losses. She also pointed out that the temple town is lacking in basic amenities such as safe drinking water and roads. She charged that the DMK's partymen were again more focused on making money for themselves and not on development. Moving on to another critical yet exposing story, the one that we exposed. Students belonging to the Adi Dravida community break several barriers to study. They come from faraway districts to carve a niche for themselves in the big cities. But at what cost? NETV Hindu brought you the shocking report on the dire conditions of the boys' hostel in Mylapore 6 months back. But the conditions of the women's hostel is much more pathetic. From cooking stoves right next to garbage cans to lack of basic sanitation facilities such as bathrooms. Our reporter Pratiksha investigates the pathetic living conditions.
In July, NDTV Hindu brought you this report which exposed the shocking living conditions at the Adi Dravida men's hostel run by the state in Mylapore. Many a viewer wrote to us sharply demanding action. The students themselves staged a Rasta Roko after our report demanding a cleaner hostel with better facilities. Finally, the minister in charge for backward caste promised action and change in the system. But 6 months later, take a look at this women's hostel in Roypuram. A room here is 120 square feet wide and 25 students are forced to live in one such room, meaning each has a space of less than 5 square feet for oneself. Suffocation and claustrophobia are the last things that come to their minds. What haunts them each day is when and how to take a bath in such dark, dingy bathrooms. Either they wake up as early as 4 a.m. to stand in a queue waiting for their turn to bathe, or they use the open space in the dead of the night.
Bathroom எப்படி இருக்கும்? ரொம்ப மோசமா இருக்கும். எல்லாம் வெளியில தான் குளிக்கிறாங்க. பாத்ரூம் கிடைக்கும். ஓகே, அவ சாமில தண்ணிலாம் உள்ள போகுது. பாத்ரூம் எல்லாம் அந்த பாத்ரூம்ல இருக்கிற தண்ணி எல்லாம் வெளியில வந்து.
The fancy menu plastered on the wall is a far cry. Meals are cooked right next to the garbage. Rice and rasam is served most days. Just last month, the government set up a 6-member fact-finding commission to look into the conditions of these hostels and make a set of recommendations. The report made by the fact-finding commission set up to look into the 21 Adi Dravida hostels in the state has not yet been made public. But we will have to wait and see if this report makes any change in these disillusioned girls' lives. In Chennai, Pratiksha Ramkumar for NDTV Hindu.
Well, the movie Kavalan is faced with much more trouble after slugging it out for a release. Producers now train their guns on each other. We get you the details on the other side.